Hello friends and welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to rank the Ninjago season 7 episodes like I did for the other 6 seasons. This is the seventh episode from this year, and yeah, let's get started. At 10th place, you have episode 68, Scavengers. For me, this episode is just so. Doesn't have anything good about it. It's just try to do a lot for random things, and you know how much I hate this. This is why episodes 14 and 55 are two of my least favorite episodes from this year, because they just do a lot of random things. But at least in this episode, not a lot of them were filler. Also, we saw a cliffhanger in the end with Jay going to his family junkyard and all of this. But overall, the episode, it was random, and it's probably one of the most forgettable episodes from the series. Actually, while I'm talking about it in this video, I can't talk about that much because I saw videos about it before starting recording this video, but the episode is extremely forgettable, and I can't talk much about it in this video. At ninth place, you have episode 66, The Hatching. This is basically a history episode. Well, I talked about it in ranking the second episode from each season, but in my opinion, the episode was so boring. The beginning saw a lot of awesome fight scenes like Wu and Garbage versus the Time Twins, or the Elemental Masters versus the Occurring Sankarax. These fight scenes are just phenomenal, and I love them so much. But other than that, the rest of the episode was just boring and pointless, with Dareth and the fight with this Vermilion Warrior. I don't care about any of this, and the rest of the episode was just so boring. At eighth place, you have episode 67, Time of Traitors. This episode has one of the best fight scenes from the season. Also, this season is for me popular of having a lot of awesome fight scenes like seasons 4 and 8. But this season really shines in terms of fight scenes. It's actually one of the best seasons by far in terms of fight scenes. And this is one of the good things about season 7. But overall, the season isn't that great, but has awesome aspects about it. But this episode is actually, it's not that bad, but it's not also that good. We had that. The only good thing about this episode, in my opinion, is Kai and at the museum and the reveal of Crux being Dr. Saunders. For me, I didn't expect Dr. Saunders being Crux at all. This is actually a very shocking plot twist. It's not one of the best plot twists, but it was very shocking, and I don't think a lot of people expected. I don't think anyone expected even, because nothing hints about it. Also, we have the fight. We see more of Chronics and Crux and all of that. But other than the fight between Kai and Nia and the Time Twins, I don't like anything else about this episode. At seventh place, we have episode 70, The Attack. This is one of the most popular episodes from this series for a lot of people. A lot of people really hate this episode, and for me, it's not that great. Also, the idea of the whole episode is just focusing on fight scenes and action and all of that, and it's not story motivated at all. It's just focused only on fight scenes and action and all of that, and for me, it didn't work. The episode was so forgettable and so boring. It's kind of filler, not filler like other episodes, but it's not that good at all. But in terms of story, also in terms of action, I didn't. It actually did something new, which is like a big war between the ninja headquarters and the Vermilion Warriors, leading by what her name? Mikey and all of that. The idea was great, but how they did it is not the best way. Overall, the episode is not terrible at all, but it's not anything too great or anything too special. The idea is cool. Why they didn't do it in the best way. At sixth place, we have episode 59, A Line in the Sand. This episode is a J Fox episode, and how he was trying to protect his family from the Vermilion Warriors. Also, he was the reason why the ninja got the Time Blade. This episode has some great moments, but overall it's like all the other previous episodes. It's not anything too special or something that you say that about this episode and it's something awesome and very memorable. I mean, season 7 is probably the most forgettable season. Besides season 6, this is probably the second most forgettable season for me, at least. But this episode is one of the reasons, like the other. I mean, it doesn't. It's just kind of filler. It doesn't do anything too awesome or too big. Uh, but and yeah, that's it for this episode. Another okay episode for this season. At fifth place, we have episode 71, Secrets Discovered. Also, I see a lot of people hate on this episode, but for me, it's not a bad episode at all. We saw a return for Skills since his absence since I think season 4. Yeah, since season 4, we didn't see Skills. Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but I think since season 4, we didn't see anything from Skills. So it was great to see him again. Also, we saw a new character, which is Skill's son, which is I think Skill Junior. This character is funny for me. He's not that. I mean, he's not meant to be taken seriously, but as a comic relief character, he works very good. Also, we see more of Kai feeling bad for her parent, want to get revenge on him, and all of that. Also, we saw. I think in this episode, Kai got that, what they call it, the dragon blade. Yeah, the dragon blade, I think. That blade that summoned the Kai and Nia's dragon. Overall, this episode wasn't bad that much. We saw the end of the episode was cool, but I don't like how the other ninja do. I mean, I don't like any of the other ninja role in this season, which are called Jay, Zen, and Lloyd. I don't like their roles at all in this season, and this episode support this more. Overall, the episode wasn't bad at all for me. I enjoyed some aspects about it, like skills and Kai's arc in this episode. Also, we saw Skylar coming back. She just did a cameo. She didn't do that big of a thing, but I like to see her coming back. Overall, the episode was a good episode, not bad at all. It has some great aspects about it, but overall, it's just a good episode for me. At fourth place, we have the season premiere, which is episode 65, The Hands of Time. I talked about this episode a lot. I talked about and ranking the season premieres. So this episode is actually pretty good. It's one of the best season premieres for me. I enjoyed this episode. We saw a lot of fight scenes. This is one of the only season premieres that has a lot of fight scenes, like Wu versus Acronyx and the Ninja versus Acronyx, which are great fight scenes. Also, we saw the first time blade and a lot. Also, this episode keep us with a lot of questions, like what happened to and where did how Dr. Saunders is Crux and who are the time twins and all of that. Overall, the episode was actually pretty cool and enjoyed. It's a very enjoyable episode. In the beginning, the ninja didn't do anything too great, but then in the fight scene, they show more. Also, I liked Acronyx in this episode so much. Overall, the episode is cool and doesn't have anything bad about it. At third place, we have episode 73, out of the fire into the boiling sea. This episode just focuses on Kai and Nei and their journey to get the last time blade and to give it to Acronyx and Acronyx. Then they give them Wu and free them. But in the end, everyone expected, Acronyx and Crux lied about that, and they took the last time blade. They put them in the Iron Dome and went to the past. And Kai, Nia, and Wu are the only people who follow them. At the end of the episode, for sure, that happened. But I actually enjoyed the episode so much. In terms of Kai and Nia and the Crux and Crux story, the other ninja story was super boring and terrible. I didn't enjoy anything about it. It was just so pointless. I hope that this episode just focuses on Kai and Nia and the others. I hope that the other ninja just did a cameo or didn't do anything in this episode, because their role in the whole season is just so pointless and terrible. I didn't like them at all in this season. The four other ninja just doesn't didn't work at all in this season, and this season is one of the worst seasons for these three characters. But for Karyane's story was actually so great and enjoyed so much. It saw something like that in season 5, but for sure in season 5 it was a lot better. Like in episode 8 from season 5, Grave Danger. So like the four original ninja Kaikoji and Zen went into like a test to get the realm crystal, but for sure in season 5 it was a lot better and I enjoyed so much. That episode is actually one of my favorite episodes from this series, from this series. But this episode is not. I don't want to call it the worst version from season 5 episode, but it's just not as good as the other one. But it was cool. I liked Kai and Nia's story, and overall the episode was actually pretty cool. At second place, we have episode 72. Pause and effect. Yeah. This episode was actually pretty cool, and this episode also have my favorite scene from season 7, which is Kai meeting Ray and the fight between them. This scene was just phenomenal. I like this scene so much. Kai just don't know anything, and he was just like fighting his father and all of that. I like this scene so much. Also, then we saw Maya. Maya role wasn't that big in this season, but Ray's role was a lot bigger, and he got a lot more developed than that. Maya was just her role was just to be Ray's wife, none other than that. But I actually like this episode a lot. Again, the other ninja role was just so stupid. Also, we saw Karlov coming back, which is a very cool move. I always smile while seeing the Elemental Masters coming back. They are just great. Overall, this episode was actually enjoyable. I think the other episode could be better than this, but this episode has aspects that make it better than episode 73. Like we saw also the third time blade, we saw more of Cybersborg and all of that. Overall, this episode was just pretty cool and has a lot of awesome moments about it. And at first place, we have episode 74, Lost in Time. This episode was just so cool, and it's a very unique episode. This is not the first time that we saw the ninja, that we saw a whole episode dedicated to events that already happened. It happened first in episode 19, Wrong Place, Wrong Time. But for me, in this episode, it was done a lot better because it doesn't affect the Ninjago story that much, and it's not a confusing episode like 19. I said in a previous video that I'm going to make a video part about episode 19, but this video will be probably next month or something like that, because I really can't understand this episode, and it's a super confusing episode. I understand. Also, but episode 74 is actually so great episode. There's so Young Woo, Garmadon, and the other elemental masters. So more of them, more of the old elemental masters, which is so awesome. So more of Kaine. The other four ninja were just sitting in Ninjago and waiting for Kaine. But I don't have any problem with that, because this season doesn't focus on because this episode, not this episode doesn't focus on them, and however, we didn't saw a lot of them. It was just 3 or 4 minutes. Also, I liked the end of the episode with the Wu sacrificing himself. It's not that unique of an end, but I think I'm getting some hate about this. But for me, Wu's sacrifice is just better than Zayn's sacrifice in season 3. This is just my opinion. So overall, the episode was just so cool and so enjoyable to watch, and I liked Kaini and Wu's arc in this episode so much, and the ending was also very cool, and it didn't disappoint at all. And yeah, that's it for today's video. Please give me your opinion about the video and which episodes are your favorite from season 7 and which episodes you don't like that much. And yeah, that's it for today's video. Please like and subscribe, share it with your friends, and yeah, see you next time.